name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop, and you're gonna be wanting to be notified. We got a lot of videos. Honestly, I got like 5 or 6 videos to record this morning. I'm offline tomorrow. It's the Sabbath. I'm offline, so I normally record stuff for Saturdays anyway. But you know, there's a little bit going down in the news. Oh, happy day, which is I think we're going to put the thumbnail for this. Jodie Whittaker, and more importantly, Chris Chibnall are leaving Doctor Who. What does this mean? Well, we're going to look at this in much more detail. We're going to watch the BBC news report of it with Lizo how do you pronounce his name? Mizimba? Look, listen. I remember him, and if it's the same bloke, I do hope it's the same bloke, otherwise I'm going to look really stupid. I remember him when he took over Newsround from John Craven, right? So for me, he's always that guy, right? And I was just like leaving England at the time, but he's a big deal now. This guy. We're going to look over the news report. We're going to have a little bit of a rumination, what's going to happen next. I'll tell you the rumours that are flying around. I'll tell you what I believe. Look, dude, I'll tell you basically anything. I don't know what it is that about me that makes you think I hold back on anything. I don't. So yeah, like, share, subscribe. By the way, my subs are doing well. So keep hitting the subscribe button. Get it to 3,100 subscribers. That'd be freaking awesome. Thank you very much. Comment. I got a ton of comments. Like I left 10, 15 over yesterday that I forgot to get to. Right. But oh God, I have no idea. I hope I get them all done before the Sabbath, which is like about 7 in the evening. It's 10 in the morning now. That's how much work I've got to do today. So like, share, but do comment. Please do comment. Thank you very much. Like, share, subscribe, comment. And what else is there? Check out Indiegogo. Yeah, you know what? Go check this out. It's nearly over. It's nearly over, baby. I'm sending it to print on Monday. I'm pretty sure Monday, if I can get all the print files ready. It should be ready. Sending it to print on Monday. 2 freaking awesome comic book. You know what it is. I've told you a gazillion times over. Biblical Bible stories, Age of the Creators, Rashness Rose, 220 pages, Sandman, Swamp Thing, Hellblaze, that sort of thing. Very biblically accurate, but not preachy. And The Imperium, made a love letter to Telefancy of the 1960s, artwork by Dominic Rancho. I wrote this one, I wrote and drew the other one. And of course you get a ton of extras. I'm not even going to go through them because they're too many to go through. And I got too much to do today, but it's in the video notes, go check it out. You got a day or two, right? And then it's done, baby. Then it's done. And I don't think I'm gonna let anybody get these extras again, right? If you want the cards, if you want the For the Male Gaze cards, it's now or never, baby. It's now or never. And I do have a tier where you can just get that. Well, buy the comics, mate. Buy the comics. So anyway, the news broke yesterday. Like rapturous applause of Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall's exit, right? This was coming up to 5 o'clock Israel time. I guess be coming up to 3 o'clock in the UK. And my phone just started bing, going crazy. People telling me, I'm giddy. I'm still giddy. I'm still excited because I think they have just been the worst possible. And I'm trying to think, how could they get any worse? Who could they choose that'll be any worse? But like for me right now, the damage is already done. I honestly, you could choose absolutely anybody. It could be as awful as I just don't consider this Doctor Who anymore. My guess is there is not going to be Doctor Who anymore. I think it's going to go on a rest for quite some time. So let's talk about that for a second. So the rumor is that not the rumor. The news is they're going to have 6 episodes this year in one long story, which I think is just suicide. Because if then by week 3, if you're not in, then you're gonna not get it. I mean, unless they're gonna dump it in one day, they're gonna say that could be, and that'd be great. Or just get it over with quickly. I doubt they're gonna do that, but that would make sense for this strategy. So yeah, and also I guess maybe Chibnall says, people you can have it as a box set on the on iPlayer, whatever you want to call it, whatever they have. But I think that's gonna hurt ratings even more than it being Chris Chibnall, Jodie Whittaker, Doctor Who, which is not the most beneficial thing for ratings. So we get 6 episodes this year. Then we get they added in one more special, right? They gave them a budget for one more special. That's to be in the crown jewel of the BBC centenary celebrations. Man, that gives you an idea how bad the centenary celebration is going to be. If that's the crown jewel, her regeneration story, yeah, it says everything about the BBC. And quite frankly, if they make it to there, I wouldn't be surprised. But I wouldn't be surprised if they don't make it there. That's basically where I am. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they don't make it there. So the next thing we're supposed to see is in 2023, one legacy standalone episode for the 60th anniversary. Probably David Tennant, right? I mean, probably don't sound like they're getting Capaldi back in a hurry. He is very dismissive. He was promoting Suicide Squad, and he was like saying, "Yeah, Doctor Who is just so shabby." And actually, it's not. He didn't really say that. I thought that's what the headline said, but then when I went to read the article, he was talking like, well, on set of Doctor Who, things were held together by bits of sticky tape and stuff, but it looked good on screen. In Suicide Squad, everything looked good in real life and on screen. That was basically his point. And then he had a little swipe at audio dramas, thinking it was Big Finish. I don't even think it was that. He's got a bit of Hollywood, Capaldi, right? And good for him. Good for him. I'm happy for his success. I think he's going to be the breakout star of Suicide Squad. I really hope he is, right? But he's a bit Hollywood now. And he's like, audio dramas are always in the basement of the BBC, and it's not very glamorous. He likes a bit of glamour, and who can really blame him? Does this mean he's saying he's not going to do Big Finish? No, I don't think it means that at all. I don't think it means that at all. And I don't think he was having a jibe at Doctor Who. Possibly, what he could be saying is that if Doctor Who is cancelled, which I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be rested, i.e. cancelled. If it's cancelled, it's going to be blamed on lack of funds because people are cancelling their TV licenses and the government not being friendly to BBC. I can see it being used as a political pawn there because they think, people love the BBC, right? People love Doctor Who, and if they lose Doctor Who, they're going to be really upset. No, this Doctor Who, most fans, I don't know. The reaction I've got online thus far has been just sheer elation, right? Everyone's like, freaking yes! Yeah, not everyone. You have the crazes who I don't think like the show at all. Just liked it breaking that glass ceiling. They're a bit tearful, right? They're in a bit of a state, which is, I don't know. If they weren't such awful people all the time, it is a sin to take pleasure in somebody else's pain, right? It is a sin. The part of me that likes justice, that like things being just, does enjoy it, but it's something it's something that's bad about me, right? It's something I shouldn't be taking pleasure in it. I am a bit. Well, listen, they did get in a group, in gangs and call me, I can't even say it on YouTube. Somebody who matches the description of Vinder, the new character, what that actually means. Go look up what Vinder means. So that brings up another point. They just had the Comic-Con panel. Wasn't that the time to announce it? So the question is, did they jump or were they pushed, right? And were they pushed a bit suddenly? Because it seems like it's under a week since the Comic-Con panel. It's weird to do the announcement now, right? I really don't understand. But it could just be Christian Chibnall's mind-blowing inefficiency, just mind-blowing, stupidity. Everything else he's done has been mind-blowingly stupid, so I don't see why this should be any different. But so we're not. The rumor is we're not seeing a season 14 or 14th Doctor until 2024. Which they need at least that much time to, I think, scramble and try and pull this back together, which means they got to be in production by mid 2022. I think that seems which would if they want to film a guy hopefully a guy whoever the Doctor's going to regenerate into, if they're in for the 60th special, not 60th special, for the centenary special. Their final episode, that gives them plenty of time to do that, or it gives them plenty of time to end on a cliffhanger, a regeneration, which has always been the way I think they want to go. Piers Wenger wants it to continue. Listen, Piers Wenger is the At least he's saying he wants it to continue. Not getting any indication he wants it to end. Piers Wenger is the idiot executive in charge of programming, or the drama programming at BBC. The one who he's just an idiot, a chinless wonder. And you can see him with the work he's done has been unbelievably poor, right? Unbelievable. So he wants it to continue. It's a valuable brand still, even though they devalued it quite considerably. It's still a valuable brand, and it was valuable a few years ago. So I think the bean counter can't let it die, but I don't think it can continue till 2024. At which point, will this cultural insanity be burnt out? I think probably. I think who knows what's going to be. Well, I think probably. I heard I can't tell you the source of the rumor but Michael Sheen actually wants to do it. He wants to do the role. I would, asking me, I would hope they'll bring in somebody from the outside. Which reminds me, I saw this tweet, which of something that isn't going to happen. But let's look at this together because it's freaking awesome. This is a tweet by J. Michael Straczynski of Babylon 5 fame. Oh man, that really deserves a new special effects done for it, and like a re-release. That was a great show, and he's a great writer. J. Michael Straczynski done just a ton of good stuff. So he writes here. I don't know if BBC would ever consider an American to showrun hashtag Doctor Who, but if so, I'll be there in a heartbeat. They could do a lot worse. It'll be a very interesting show. Also, what's the name? The other guy, Stephen King's son, Jonah Hill. He was interested as well. I really think going outside the box is a good idea. I think the reason we got Chibnall is he was very much part of the Fitzroy Tavern clique. I think who was it? What's the name of the guy? The guy who finds the missing episodes. Oh, I can't remember his name. The Fitzroy Tavern was a fan pub that people went to in London. Was it the third Thursday in the month? I used to go there. It's fun, right? But yeah, I think something outside that clique, because Chibnall was part of the clique. Although, I could have not gone to Toby Whitehouse or Whithouse, however you pronounce his name. He would have been so much better. Really, pretty much anybody would have been better than Chibnall. So if it'll be great. That would be great. I do not see it happening. Fine. So let's look at the actual interview, and we'll stop it, and you'll get my sparkling commentary throughout. Is this it? There we go. Full interview with Lizo Mzimba, and I'm sure he's the guy, right? I'm sure he's the guy from Newsround. I really don't know, but I think he is. Fine. Let's watch this.
The BBC's confirmed that Jodie Whittaker is stepping down from her role in Doctor Who.
Yay!
Next year.
Yo, no!
She took over as the 13th Doctor back in 2017, and she was the first woman to play the Time Lord.
Really? They never mentioned that. They should have put that in the publicity.
With me now is our entertainment correspondent, Lizo Mzimba. So she's handing back the keys to the...
He's totally the guy. He's totally the guy from Newsround, okay? Totally the guy. Unless I'm wrong. Again, listen, if I'm wrong and he's black, everyone's going to say, oh, you're a racist. No! I just think he's the guy. I kind of recognise the name.
TARDIS. Will she be mourned by Doctor Who fans? Has she been a great Doctor?
Well, this is a loaded question. I believe he got some flack on Twitter earlier in the day when he was presenting the facts, and the facts were not very good. Like, it's really done very, very, very badly under Chibnall and Whittaker. It's I understand they got up to 6 something million for their New Year's episode when it was locked in the houses. I don't know. What do you want to tell me? And also, it had Captain Jack in it, Daleks. It didn't look bad, right? For a normie, it kind of looked like Doctor Who, if you don't know what you're looking at. Except when she comes on screen, and she is just awful. But anyway, bit of a hand grenade he tosses him here. Let's have a look.
Like all doctors that we've seen over more than 50 years, some will have liked her, some will have liked other particular doctors that have come in.
And some may have absolutely hated her. So, yeah, listen, it's the diplomatic answer. Yeah, some may have liked her. Some may have liked others. Some may have want this entire era to be lost for time forever.
The past, for those of us that grew up in the 1990s, the fact that Doctor Who is still on air means that the Doctor has been a success and kept the programme going. It's fair to say that when her first episode aired, it got something like 11.5 million viewers.
Well, it's not just fair, it's accurate. That's what happened. And again, listen, they advertised it, and they thought it was going to be great. They thought it was going to work a treat. They really thought it was going to go down well. And then it just ran off a cliff. So the next year, they thought they fixed all the problems. They thought it was going to work well, and it did even worse, right? The problem is Jodie Whittaker and also Chris Chibnall's awful scripts. But Whittaker is just miscast, and she is unbelievably bad and right. I want to flip this video to reverse it so he's looking at me rather than looking away. I feel kind of guilty about this.
The Doctor Who's biggest audience for almost a decade, so there seemed to be a real groundswell of support, presumably because she was the first female Doctor. People were fascinated, really wanted her to succeed in the role.
But then
it's fair to say that over her first 2 series, the ratings did drop away.
Oh, by the way, I see him there, Matt Stevens. He's gone too. Goodbye. Goodbye.
To closer to what they were for her predecessor, Peter Capaldi's ratings.
Closer?
Were during...
Closer, but lower. A lot lower.
His tenure, so not as big as it was at the start, but still delivering, what the BBC hope, if not the spectacular ratings, but perhaps the Matt Smiths and David Tennants were getting in their time. But yes, I think people will be delighted by the fact that, we have had a female Doctor who's been doing different kind of...
Yeah, no, I understand. They're delighted by the fact that Doctor Who's a woman. I understand that. Unfortunately, the stories just didn't equal that. That was the only thing to be delighted about. If you're into bigotry, I guess.
Different kind of stories, keeping the legacy of Doctor Who going, and certainly her place in history is assured. I think.
No, and it's not. Her place in history is going to be erased forever.
Only 12 people, I think, have walked on the moon. There've only been 13 Doctors, so it's a pretty elite.
Well, not anymore. Now there's been unlimited amount. He added in another 15 Doctors or something. Again, when you dilute the character, you make the character not interesting.
Group to be in, isn't it? Really. So
that's a good comparison. It's a very good comparison. And of course, a bit like James Bond, there's always speculation about who's going to be the next Doctor.
Well, at this point, we don't even know who's going to be in charge of Doctor Who for when.
Yeah, now I think this is indicative. I think this is a very big deal. When Moffat handed over to Chibnall and Rusty Davies handed over to Moffat, both of them was saying, I'm proud to announce my successor and it's going to be in great hands, I'm moving on, right? It was always at the same time. That they're not announcing the team taking over shows the ill health of Doctor Who, right? The poor health that Doctor Who is in.
And Jodie Whittaker and the current showrunner Chris Chibnall do stand down. Their last episode will be filmed over the next few weeks and months, but it won't go out until autumn, November 2022, to tie in with the BBC's centenary. So we don't know who's going to be in charge of Doctor Who.
November 2023, I guess. November 2023, I would have guessed.
Who, when the next incarnation comes along, and they, of course, presumably will have a big say in who it will be. I mean, there's always speculation in the papers of people like, Michaela Cole, very much, a performer of the moment. I'd be very surprised because, she's doing incredibly well, doing her own material, stretching out in all sorts of areas, big here, big in the United States, big around the globe. And it's a big, big commitment to do something like Doctor Who to come.
Yeah, I think, didn't she also get, isn't she in the Marvel movie or something like that, a TV show or something? I heard that she just got another genre thing, meaning it's certainly not her. I just think she'll be terrible in the role. I really do. It's like, do you have a vagina? Is your skin black? Oh, yeah, no. Again, that's the mentality that's got to go. That's the mentality that's brought Doctor Who to such incredible ill health that it's in right now.
Come in and spend perhaps 8-9 months of the year filming on just one show. So you need to catch people at that sweet point when they're coming along and they've got lots of talent and people are beginning to hear from them, but before they're too massively big that other people can come along and swamp them with
Like Matt Smith, for example. Matt Smith, they cast, and David Tennant. Both Matt Smith, David Tennant. I guess Peter Capaldi, if he breaks out with Suicide Squad, if he's a breakout hit with Suicide Squad, then they will want him back. Then they would definitely want him back. Wouldn't that be incredible? Oh, please. It's never. I'm saying never going to happen. You never know, okay? You never know what on earth's going to happen. But, like, if he's a breakout hit with Suicide Squad. But, yeah, no, what he described is pretty much David Tennant and Matt Smith. And again, hopefully Capaldi. Who are just, getting David Tennant now to Doctor Who is a coup. Because he's so big, right? As Matt Smith, he's too big for Doctor Who, right? He's a big movie actor. Does The Crown. Does a character actor. I'd love to see him back there. I do love Matt Smith. Do I love Matt Smith, or do I love the Murray Gold music that goes with it, or just the whole package? I love the whole package.
Bigger offers, or just more control, or just better use of their time. People talked about Phoebe Waller-Bridge when before Jodie Whittaker was appointed, and it was always a choice of, like, Phoebe Waller-Bridge is, she's got a huge, 20 million plus.
No, Phoebe Waller-Bridge would have been in this. It was in the same sweet spot, I think, in 2017. That Matt Smith was when he started, and David Tennant, right? Because she's basically exploded in the last couple of years, right? So that would have been the smart casting. However, it was Chibnall. It was Chibnalled away.
Deal with Amazon, she's doing her own material all over the place. Does she really want to spend 9 months of the year working on a show that she doesn't write, and she's not involved in, except in just kind of acting, which is a hard job, 5-6 day weeks for 3/4 of the year. So
I mean, if they would go for Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and I really hope they don't, the solution would be have her be the creator, the star and the creative director of the show. I said the smart thing to do up until a few months ago would be to do that with Noel Clarke, right? Who I think is a great creative. He's not working yet. His career is over beyond over. I feel bad for that guy.
There are people coming up. I mean, there's lovely people like, Amari Douglas, who we saw in Russell T Davies's It's a Sin, actresses like Hermione Caulfield. There are people kind of coming along. If you'd asked me 2 years ago, I might have said Florence Pugh. But again, she's too big. She's an Oscar nominee. She's in Black Widow. She's doing massive stuff all over the...
I think she would have been too young. And honestly, Black Widow, she was the best thing about the Black Widow movie, but it wasn't a good movie. Scarlett Johansson is now suing Disney for Black Widow. I mean, like, really? Okay, think things are not happy in the House of Mouse. I'm kind of excited to hear that. I tell you, I personally have had like a mini redemptive news. Quite a lot over the last week. It's been quite exciting. I feel there's this new redemptive energy coming into the world. I know this is a weird way. Look, I'm a weird guy. Okay, I'm a weird guy. I look at things in a weird way, but that's how I kind of like imagine it's like the a good eye of Sauron, just slowly opening up and this redemptive energy coming in. There's been this is not one. Like, if this continues, Paramount Plus might go under. Well, Paramount might go under. Disney might go under. If Disney goes under, then this redemptive energy is a thing, right? Is a real thing.
Too big for Doctor Who, surely.
Well, it's a BBC can't compete with both the time and the cash that other people can offer, and I think you have to really love Doctor Who and be a really important thing to say. I'm going to commit 9 months of my life. They film in Cardiff at the moment, to actually do that to the exclusion of lots of other more lucrative offers that will be pouring in from over the world. So
yeah, as I recall, didn't Stephen Moffat turn down a bunch of Steven Spielberg? They want to do more Tintin stuff or something like that, and he turned it down to do Doctor Who.
My short answer is I have no idea who's going to take over. There you go, Ben.
It took a long time to say that, I've got to say. Now, you did mention the showrunner, who's also leaving as well, and he's been quite important and slightly controversial amongst Doctor Who fans.
All showrunners will be controversial.
No one has been controversial like Chibnall, including JNT, right? And JNT, we look back now with revisionist history, and we go, oh, he was pretty good. It was pretty good. I kind of miss JNT. But yeah, he's saying the company lie. What he's saying is technically vaguely true. Okay, that's the closest we can get.
Among Doctor Who fans. Doctor Who fans, they're very passionate about the show.
Really? I didn't notice.
And they have strong opinions, a lot of them, so...
That's never happened to me.
Lots of them will have loved Russell T Davies's era when it
Yeah, that was me. I love Russell T Davies era.
came along. Lots of them will say it's not like what it was before. The same with Stephen Moffat. Going back to
No, I love that too. I loved everything. I loved everything right up until Chibnall.
when you had, producers in charge like John Nathan Turner in what we now call classic Doctor Who. So I think, he will have been pleased to get a massive show of interest, and he's the man that cast a female Doctor. So again...
Yeah, that's why I did it. That's why I did it. I don't know. My question is, how is this going to impact his career and Whittaker's career? For all I know, they've already signed them into Blake 7, right? Who knows? It did, but it doesn't sound like it. It doesn't sound like things are going down too well.
His place in history is assured. Maybe a bit of disappointment that they didn't hang on to more of the viewers that came in with that first flush.
Like 75% of them.
Of excitement when Jodie's first episodes came along. But as I say, for Doctor Who fans, it's been a long haul for us. The fact the programme is still on air, we still see as a big win. And any show...
I actually really don't. I really don't. I think it's been really painful for this to be on air and bastardized. I feel the same way about Star Trek. Like, when I think Discovery is just awful. Absolutely awful in every way, shape or form. But it's most awful when it touches on classic Star Trek, like when they pulled in the Guardian Forever badly. Whenever they do anything with classic Trek and they do it badly, it hurts me that much more.
Run it and deliver a programme where there's going to be another series after they leave. I will take that as a win.
And let me very quickly put you on the spot.
Is there going to be another series after they leave? We don't know that. We do not know that. And don't expect them to announce cancellation. That's something they learned back in the 90s, right? Back in the late 80s, 90s, when they cancelled Doctor Who. Because they tried it once in the mid-80s, saying, well, cancel it. And John Nathan Turner sent out a press release saying, it's only an 18-month hiatus. Man, the BBC were pissed off at him for that. And they basically had it out for him ever since then. You've got to read this book, The Life and Scandalous Times of John Nathan Turner. Really fascinating. It tells you everything. Like, I would love them to do a sequel to An Adventure in Time and Space and set it in that era, using that book. Because it's just a fascinating time. And John Nathan Turner was screwed over beyond screwed over by the BBC. Absolute scum to him. But yeah, it's revisionist history. That's what we have.
Spot. Who was your favourite Doctor of all time?
That is a difficult one. If I'm being absolutely honest, it's at the moment it's a dead heat with between Tom Baker and David Tennant.
Yep, that's a safe thing to say. That is a safe thing to say.
But they're all good. They all bring something different, and that's the beauty of Doctor Who. It can reinvent.
Yeah, they bring everything. They all bring something different. And Jodie Whittaker bored it being utterly shit. That's really quite amazing.
Itself with a new character in the lead role so many times, and that's what why it's a genius piece of programming and why so many people love it.
And it has had some great actors playing that role. Lisa, thank you very much indeed. Great to see you. Lisa Mazimba there, our entertainment correspondent there.
Okay, so the next clip I want to look is compare and contrast. I saw this on the Big Finish Twitter feed. It's beyond fascinating. It's absolutely beyond fascinating. It's a similar interview with Peter Davison and John Nathan Turner on Peter Davison exit from Doctor Who. And we're just going to... It's insane. It's really crazy. But in terms of Doctor Who continuing, I think everything hinges on there being international partners. I can see Netflix wanting to snapping their hands off, but they would... I think that whoever takes it would probably want some creative control so they're not buying into the disaster Doctor Who, which HBO bought. And it's not even... The next season isn't even on HBO. It's going to be on AMC... whatever it is, and BBC America. But that's really what it's all dependent on, in my opinion. International partners, if they have them, they'll do another series with a new showrunner. Hopefully, again, this insanity will have burned itself out by then. Listen, or we could all be wrong, and they're going to announce a new Doctor and a new showrunner before I post this video. That's the reality. You got to expect the unexpected if we're going to bring in a bit of Terrorhawks as well. Fine, so let's watch this thing with Peter Davison. It is really bizarre.
Entertainment correspondent.
Peter, I know you've come hot foot even now.
1 sec, let me just recenter that. fine. So Southeast at 6. But look at JNT there in the background. JNT is essentially Colin Baker's Doctor is essentially JNT, a fictionalized version of JNT. There we go.
From a Doctor Who rehearsal.
That's right.
Why have you decided to leave the part after such a short time?
Like, firstly, what, you're giving up already? What's wrong with you? She's such a bitch to him. And he's like, what?
Well, it's not really a short time. I gave myself 3 years, and I will have done 3 years. It's always difficult with Doctor Who because, although it's been announced I'm leaving now, I'm still making a series, and will continue to make it until about Christmas. And so I'm really the Doctor until, I guess, around March.
But did you feel that you were getting a little bit stuck in a rut? There is this day...
Like, what the hell? Like, do you think you're ever going to work again, Peter? Do you think that's going to happen? We don't. We think it looks pretty bad for you. Meanwhile, who is this woman? Do you recognise her? I don't think she's ever got a job again. Oop, there it is.
Really the Doctor until, I guess, around March.
But did you feel that you were getting a little bit stuck in a rut? There is this danger that you become so much known as Doctor Who to so many youngsters that there's a fear that you may never get any other kind of part.
I mean, firstly, you've done it for only done it for 20 minutes. Are you worried? Are you worried you're typecast? You can just see Peter Davison like, what's wrong with this bitch?
Perhaps.
There is that danger. It wasn't really so much that. It's just that I do think it's easier to carry on than to be strong about it and say I must move on to pastures new, and I really feel that I want to do that now.
Well, John, you've now got the job, John Nathan Turner, the producer, of finding a new Doctor Who, and there's been lots of speculation about what kind of person that's going to be. Give us some hints.
Well, I think I'm looking for someone who's older than Peter, perhaps a little more eccentric, and even a little bad-tempered.
Yeah, so John Nathan Turner's approach was always go for the opposite, right? We had Tom Baker had been Doctor Who for so long, and so he wanted to go something very opposite. When for Peter Davison, really visually very, very, very different from Tom Baker, like blonde hair, young, known her from All Creatures Great and Small. Yeah, visually, and that's basically what he did with Colin Baker. You could also argue with Sylvester McCoy, but by the time he got Sylvester McCoy, he was like, I just want to leave. Leave it, I just want to die. But they were just screwing him over royally by then.
Someone a bit crotchety.
Yes.
I remember some of the early Doctor Whos used to get a bit...
Yeah, no you don't, darling, no you don't.
cross
Yes,
with their
particularly
assistants.
William
This is what
Hartnell,
you're
the very
after,
first
yes.
Doctor.
So you're really going back to the early Doctor Whos, the early sort of thing. What about all the stories in the papers that you're looking for a lady Doctor Who? Let's...
There's a controversy from the future. Calling back, it's such a shame. But you should actually, we just put this in context. JNT was beloved at this point. Right, absolutely. This was before the 5 Doctors. He came in, and people were Fandom was kind of pissed off with Graham Williams. They wanted to be more serious. They didn't like Douglas Adams. They wanted to be more serious, and that's basically what they got with Chris Bynum-Mead and after that was it Eric Saywood. They got a much more grounded, hard science fiction show. Was it better? I don't know. Look, Doctor Who changes. It goes through different styles. I liked it, but I like all Doctor Who. That's just me for you.
Let's have the truth on
Well,
television.
it is feasible that the Doctor could regenerate into a woman, but it's not something I'm considering too seriously.
But you can't rule it out.
No.
And if you did cast a lady, what kind of lady would she be?
Anybody but Jodie Whittaker. I mean, like Jodie Whittaker from 40 years in the future. That's what I think he's going to say. Anybody but Jodie Whittaker.
Well, I don't think it would be a very glamorous lady. It would have to be a kind of middle-aged, crotchety, bad-tempered type. I think the role of the companion really has covered the kind of glamour puss aspect.
I mean, basically, he's saying he would make Iris Wildthyme. And if you ever heard Iris Wildthyme, that's freaking awesome. There are a bunch of books by Paul Maggs, and they also do audios at Big Finish. Katie Manning, Joe Grant plays her. Freaking awesome. She's a time lady. Her TARDIS is a London bus, and it's smaller on the inside, right?
It would be rather difficult to imagine what kind of companion a Lady Doctor Who would have. Would she have a glamorous young man?
Okay, no, basically what they have is a very, very diverse group of 3 people. One, a emasculated young black man who sucks his thumb occasionally. A stunning and brave, less black, but more brownish-skinned woman who's the best at everything. And an evil white male who is there to say that you're the bestest ever and sorry. That's basically what the function is. And also to act as the human being for the audience to try and connect with. That's why when he leaves, when he left, we have to get another human being in for the audience to connect with.
Maybe even 2.
You can't rule that out. But, Peter, we've talked a lot about an older person playing the Doctor, and certainly the early Doctors were all played by older chaps. Do you think, looking back, perhaps you were too young for the part?
Peter, do you think you were too shit to be Doctor Who? Do you? Because we do. We in our uneducated Carolus think you were too shit to be Doctor Who. And he's like, what?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't, although John can confirm this, I don't think that's the reason he's looking for an older person. I think it's simply that to go any younger would cause a big problem with regard to the companions that you get. I don't think I was too young. It has really gained in popularity over the past 2 years.
Yeah, listen, bitch. Look, I'm doing good, okay? People liked it more with me in it. We've been successful.
It was moved to a weekday slot, and really it's sort of taking off all over the world now. It's a very big programme.
So you don't think that it was a bit of a mistake to have a young...
So you don't think you're a bit shit? Because we do. We think you're a bit shit.
young chap doing it?
Well, that's not for me to say, but no, I don't think so. No. I mean, it seems it's gone down very, very well, and I wouldn't be leaving really if I felt that it hadn't gone very well.
Yes.
I probably would have stayed until I was satisfied with it.
Could you imagine Whittaker having like these type of questions asked her? She's so insulated. What? No, everyone loves me. I'm the bestest ever.
Until I got old enough. I don't know. But I think it has been successful. So.
John, very briefly, when are we going to get our first glimpse on the series of the new Doc?
Mid-March.
Mid-March. And I gather for Doctor Who Freaks there's a big special coming up.
Yes, there's
Doctor Who Freaks? Really? Really? So this must be just prior to the Five Doctors. So it's like November 83 then, I guess. This is, must be around November. Just coming up there, 83. So it must be 84 when his... I thought that there was another year in between Five Doctors and the beginning of his season. The Five Doctors must have really began that season 21, if I recall. I don't know. Listen, I guess I'll look on Wikipedia to find out the air dates.
There's a 90-minute special to be transmitted in November called The Five Doctors, where we have all the actors who've played the Doctor.
Well, that's...
apart from Tom Baker.
Sounds smashing.
But we got one of his waxworks from Madame Tussauds, so it's all cool, baby. And we got the show called Sharda. We're going to cut stuff in there. It won't make sense, but it doesn't really matter. It's just going to be fun. It's just going to be fun.
Doesn't it, Sue? Celebrate his 20th birthday.
Peter mentioned past is new. What past is new are you hoping for?
Well, as I...
Do you think you're going to work again, Peter? Because the other one's finished being a bitch, so now's my turn to be a bitch.
So I finished work at Christmas, and I've absolutely nothing planned yet. Doesn't worry me yet. It won't start worrying me till at least tomorrow morning.
Does it worry you that you might not be able to leave the Doctor Who part behind? Because they do...
Okay, does it worry you? Are you worried that you're never going to eat again? Are you worried? Were you? Were you a bit worried, were you? You should be. I mean, like, really? Set bitch to maximum.
Follow you around for a while.
They do, but, Tristan from All Creatures still follows me around,
Yes.
and I don't think it's a thing that you can, in the event, worry about. I hope it won't. I don't think it will.
Wish you luck. Thank you.
And Eddie's... get rid of that. Ah, go away. There you go. It's just weird. That whole thing was just weird. Oh, happy day. Whittaker's gone. I just really feel it was a perfect storm of awfulness. This era was like Chris Chibnall, who is not very talented, picking Jodie Whittaker, who is horribly miscast in this sea of like political insanity that have taken over the world, like ideological insanity, very, very similar to the Chinese Cultural Revolution. It really is shockingly similar, and that worked out well, other than the 30 to 40 million people they murdered. That worked out fine. So it really was a perfect sea of awful. Will we get a perfect sea of awful for the next one? Could be. I kept saying, they can't get any worse. It just can't, under no circumstances, can it possibly get any worse. And Chris Chibnall's always like, hold my beer. Oh my bit. So that's why I'm kind of glad he's gone. Right? That's why I'm kind of glad he's gone. Yeah. So oh happy day. I think it's what for us all to celebrate. What will the future hold? I'll tell you what the future's going to hold for me. I got a gazillion videos to make on this. Hugh Fullerton, the best shill in the world at the BBC at Radio Times, has written an article on this. I guess I'm going to do that on Sunday. I got more articles than I know what to do with right now. So there you go. Finally, modern day Doctor Who has given me some content. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And again, don't forget my Indiegogo. Links and notes. There's only like 2 or 3 days left. Please go check it out. Thank you very much.